our second day of adventuring in the Potomac Highlands of West Virginia. And today we're starting by visiting Blackwater Falls State Park. Blackwater Falls is named after the famous waterfall that's here, Blackwater Falls. This waterfall is about 60 feet high and it has a more like tea-like color to it because of all the tannins that come from the hemlock trees into the stream. Of all of the natural sites in West Virginia, Blackwater Falls is one of the most photographed sites because of how beautiful it is. So today we're going to walk around the falls and try to get some nice photos. Blackwater Falls. This overlook here is accessible by what's called the Gentle Trail, and it's a paved trail that brings you over to this overlook. View of the Blackwater Canyon at Pendleton Point. Here you can really see how the river has carved this canyon over time. You can also see a lot of large sandstone boulders that have tumbled down over the cliffs over the millennia. You can also see Elakala Falls across the way, and we're going to be heading there soon. Now we're walking by a set of waterfalls that's right next to the Blackwater Falls Lodge called Elakala Falls, and there's a series of them that go from the top of the mountain and going into the main Blackwater Falls River. So we're going to try to see the first main one and then maybe try to walk down to the other one as well. So right now we're on the more southern side of the canyon, and it's a lot more steep compared to the other side where we viewed the main Blackwater Falls. And as you can see around me, compared to the understory on the other side, this area has more mossy areas with the exposed roots and less like understory vegetation. So even though there's a main falls here, and that's kind of something that people want to see, you can see other things along the trail as well as kind of observing how the foliage changes depending on where you are. The one thing that I really like about this waterfall is how it looks like it's cut out of the side of the canyon. Like you can see all of the rocks that are exposed that were basically what form it. It'd be really cool to see like if in the winter, like when it maybe freezes over, or if there's more or less water. I feel like any time of the year it's really beautiful here. So now we're at the second part of the Elakala Falls, and we've been really enjoying taking pictures and video of the sites that we've been exploring today. It's a really great way for us to like look closely at nature and figure out how we can create something artistic, which is a lot of fun. What I've been trying to do is take long exposure photographs of the waterfalls. So I set it up on a little gorilla pod like this,
and I try to get the water looking like nice and soft and streamy. So that's been a lot of fun to experiment with today. And sometimes the long exposures can bring out something that you didn't even notice before. Well, at the first set of falls, we noticed that there was one pool of water that was actually starting to swirl, and that was something that only really came out when you were taking the long exposure pictures, and you could see the bubbles starting to make like little swirls in the water, and so that was really cool.
Since there's 3 sets of falls here, only the first one's truly accessible from the trail. The second one, it was more just like a beaten path that people have kind of formed from trying to come down here. But the third set of falls, we're not even going to try to attempt because it's so rocky. So now we're going to make the climb back up to the trail and hopefully find a geocache up there that's supposed to be there. Currently a lot of muggles around. High muggle territory.
Aw, last year someone said, I proposed here, and I said yes. That's so cute.
That is really cute. It's cool to think that other people came to this exact same spot and did the exact same thing that we're doing right now. It's like a weird connection you have with people.
It is, it's a treasure hunt. That was kind of off the beaten path. We walked down a little trail about half a mile and then came to this really beautiful little stream, and there's a little bridge over there as well that you can walk over and see the water. So let's see what we have in here. We've got a fun pen to sign our log with. A park guide. Oh, that's cute. Oh, that would be very helpful. So we're gonna go ahead and sign this log.
Now that we're like really close to the water, you can see how it's that like tea color. It's much more prominent now we're near an area where the water isn't flowing as fast like at the waterfall. It looks really cool.
I'm gonna add my contribution to the balance book.
So we're gonna go hiking on the Balanced Rock Trail, where there's supposed to be a really interesting rock feature where it's a larger rock that's supposed to look like it's being balanced on a really small one. Walking up to Balanced Rock, before we could even see it, we noticed on the ground that there's like, it looks like a fine like white sand and pebbles, and as we got to the rock we realized that the sandstone is still eroding, and you can see these little pebbles that are now falling onto the ground, and the rest of the sandstone's eroding due to weather, wind, rain, the elements. And it's really cool to see that this type of erosion is still happening even today, and that this erosion has been happening for so many years to be able to create this interesting balanced rock shape. It's more impressive from the back, because like from the front you can't really see how much it's balancing, but if you look up here, it's like less than half of it is balancing on the other rock. Like, that's awesome.
Okay, so now we are going to go to our last overlook for the day. We're going to go to Lindy Point, which is on the very western portion of the park, and we're going to get a beautiful view of the Blackwater Canyon.